Greetings and welcome to my bench for a fresh new build. This time I'm actually starting the much talked about SU-27 flanker that I've talked about a lot in the past updates. It's part of a group build, YouTube group build hosted by Greg at the YouTube channel called stevethefish.net, and doing this group build to promote the hobby and how much fun it can be, I guess. But yeah, anyways, it's really late, and I thought I'd at least show you guys what's in the box before I start building it. And as far as plans go, I haven't really decided. There are two schemes in the box, and I haven't decided which one I want to do. But we'll get there along the way, I guess. And I think it's Zvesta reboxing. I haven't checked it out yet, but I'll show you guys why I think that. And if you remember my SU-27 that I built a while ago, the so-called stealth jet, that was a Zvesta reboxed kit, and in that box we had this little guy here. There are little guys. One standing pilot and one sitting pilot came in the box in its own Ziploc bag. And again, we got the same exact sprue with this one. So I'm guessing it's a Zvesta rebox. We got some sprues in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprues with bombs and everything. And yeah, it even has the same texture as the other Zvesta rebox kit had, like a slight texturing to the plastic, and some weird coloration going on around here. But it looks like a pretty nice kit, and there is a video out there. Plenty of videos probably on YouTube of people building it, but I've seen it quite a few, and it turns out like a really good plane. So got really shallow panel lines, which also points to Zvesta. But I guess I really liked the T-50 Sukhoi Pakfa, whatever it's called. I'm not going to go super into this, but you do get a ladder here with the standing pilot, I guess, and a bunch of details and stuff. It looks really nice, apart from the shallow panel lines. I'm not really good with those, but yeah, that T-50, it went together really well. Even though I didn't really like the subject, the build was fairly nice. And there's a bunch of flash going on around here, around the pylons, but it does look pretty nice. So yeah, this is identical sprue, I guess. A couple of identical weapon sprue along with some engine nozzles and wheels. But instructions are quite thick, because they're quite intricate build. I think it's a level 5. Yeah, level 5 build from Revell there. 71 steps to get to the finished product. You can either do the two-tone blue, dark blue versus light blue colors, or you can do the three-tone black and white and gray. Both look equally as cool as the other one, and I'm gonna decide along the way which one I'm gonna end up painting. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with a cockpit tomorrow, I guess, because it's like past midnight already today. So yep, that's that. We're gonna go ahead, or I'm gonna go ahead and start painting the cockpit and assembling the seat and such. The seat goes together pretty much the same as the Pakfa seat did, in multiple pieces with the lovely cushion and seatbelt separate pieces. But other than that, I think this is pretty much the same. The same seat, even the same cockpit probably. But that doesn't really matter. This is a fresh new build and I'm excited for it. So here's the tiny cockpit all assembled and looking nice and not in focus. It was quite an easy assembly. We had to put in the seat back and the seat belts, the harness into the pilot seat. But that's because I feel it is easier to paint it separate. The seat is just loosely in there, and I did drill out the little ejection handles, which you can't really see because it's dark and stuff. But yeah, I drilled those out because I think it looks way better. The hardest part about this seat was these things on the side there. I think those are supposed to be armrests. At least they look like it. They would pivot down and be armrests. But yeah, it's time to crack out the paint and start painting this bad boy up. So that's it for the cockpit. The instruments are just flat surfaces with some decals on there. Kinda sucks, but it is what it is. Doesn't look half bad. I did this little handle yellow just to like add some interest to the interior. The instruction just called for the same gray as everything else. And here's the seat. Could have done a little bit better paint job on it, but not with my shaky hands today. Really turned out nice with drilled out ejection handles. Nobody's ever going to see that. I did add some highlights to the blackness of the seat with dark sea gray. Just to give it a little more interesting kind of worn look. So yeah, all that's left now is just to assemble it. Here's the main dash panel, instrument panel. You can see how flat that is. It's just, yeah, void of any details. So all you have is a decal, pretty much. But it's on the inside. Nobody's really gonna notice that, I think. We'll see how it goes on the inside. Yeah, so finished painting the cockpit and I finished installing it into the piece that it was supposed to go into, the top piece here. And then I sort of started playing around with the fuselage and all the big parts. And man, this kit is just falling together. Literally, this front part clicked onto the lower half. And everything lines up real nice. Although, if I ever do this kit again, I would probably not glue the aft half down on the front area here with where the wheel wells meet up, because I had a little bit of trouble getting this here to fit perfectly, and it still doesn't fit that perfectly. It has a little bit of a step here, but not a big problem in my opinion. And literally it was like my fault because I didn't have it clicked all the way in the front here, and when it did click, it fell pretty much into place. Even the wings are fitting quite nicely, although they will require some putty work going on here and here. But other than that, this kit is, yeah, basically falling together. Up to step 10, I think now. Yep, up to step 10. I gotta attach the, I don't know if you call it pylons or whatnot, but the things that go on the side of the wings here to hold the missiles. And I decided to go with what the kit instructs, with all the bombs and whatnots. So we'll be putting on missiles on here, missiles on here, missiles on here, and then we'll have to make a decision what we're gonna put on the intake sides. And yeah, I want this bird to be loaded with all kinds of weaponry or armament or ordnance, whatever you call it. But anyways, I'm gonna keep on keeping on with this now. Talking about the kit just falling together, I think I'm just about ready to fall in love with this kit. Just see this air brake hole there, and I have the air brake right here. Just falls into place, and it's super smooth. There are like no bumps or anything on here. Only thing you can see is the little gap here, and that's because I was a little bit too eager when I was trimming the connection point there. But just look at that. Oh, it's so great. But having said that, next step is the intakes underneath, and intakes are notorious for being ill-fitting and such. Yeah, so I'm about to start doing the intakes here, and multiple pieces, but I've given them a slight test fit, and they seem to fit just fine, or somewhere close to it at least. But the instruction call for to paint this on the inside in a color that's called Patina Green in the Revell range, and I don't have that since I'm using Vallejo. So my conversion chart has has like no conversion to Vallejo, so I'm gonna have to mix up my own. And I don't know. I got this Panzer olive green, and this is, I think it was pale green. It used to have some writing on here with the name of it. I think this is pale green, I think, and I used to use this on the interiors of British planes. I got something in my throat. I can't talk. But anyways, yeah, so I have to like kind of mix something of my own here. We'll see how that turns out. I'm thinking Panzer olive green with a little bit of light gray in it, or even this color with a little bit of dark gray in it. I'll figure something out. Okay, forget everything I just said about color mixing and stuff like that, because luckily I decided I'd do a little bit more research on the color of the inside of jet air intakes in the SU-27. I was thinking green on the inside of these things, the intakes. Sounds a little bit too weird to me. So, of course, usually you see them in white color and stuff like that. So I did a little more research. I've said that about 100 times now. And the color that I see the most often looks like something like a very light gray, or grayish white, like stuff like that. So I looked at a bunch of planes, and everyone had the same color on the intakes on the inside, and that was light gray color. So rather than go mixing some stupid green color that probably never existed, and I'm actually doubting that I have read the instructions correctly, I'm going to be painting with a game color ghost gray. And I want to double check that I read the instructions correctly. N. You see that? It says N. And with the stupid Revell paint charts here, it does say N is patina green, silky matte. This sounds, I don't know, perhaps like one specific plane had that green color on the inside or something. But this kit allows for 2 different versions, and I doubt both of those had green intakes on the insides. So I reckon ghost gray is gonna be a hell of a lot safer, or closer to the correct color, I guess. So yeah, that's happening. Now, even looking at the box here right next to me, the intakes are blue on the inside where they should actually be in the intake inside color, if that makes sense. And I don't know what is happening with the focus on my camera, why it always loses its focus. But anyways, I'm just baffling on, rambling nonsense. Stop listening to me and observe as the intakes get finished. Right, so I've been doing some more researching. I got all the bits painted up here, and I have this picture that I took from the interwebs, and I'll flash it all right now. And on this picture, as you did see there, the inside of the intake is really quite dirty and grimy. So I'm going to do an experiment with my eyeshadow kit right here, which I usually use for exhaust and suit markings and such as that. And I'm going to take a cotton bud and lightly just dirty it up, and then I think I'm going to take my little brush there, this guy, with some water, and try and clean off a little bit so it looks dirty with some clean streaks, like reverse streaking, kind of like I saw in the picture. So I hope this turns out good, because if it doesn't, I'm not going to be very happy. So I'm taking some into the cotton bud here, like so, and I got a piece of paper right here with some crap on it, and I'm rubbing most of the powder off here, because I don't want this to be like black. I just wanted to have like a sooty residue almost. So just lightly gonna go, perhaps I would even go lightly like so, thus creating some streaking effect, so I won't have to clean it afterwards, maybe. And in fact, I am already quite happy with what's going on here. Just real subtle kind of slight dirtiness going on there. And focus, please. Thank you. Yep, this'll do it for me. I'm going to continue doing this on the entirety of the sides, and we'll see if I do anything on the top and bottom there. But that's what I'm going to do. That's not too bad, I think. Came also in with some pastels, as you can probably not tell there. Some brown and orange. Scraped up some powder from the pastel chalks and dabbed it in there with a cotton bud as well. And then I went in with the wet brush and I did some streaking where the yeah, it didn't quite get in the corner there, but that's a fine. Nobody's ever going to see this anyway. This is just there for me and you guys to know about. But yeah, I did the sharp streaks here with a wet brush, because it's where the flaps on the inside, where the intake, they can change where it takes the air in from the front or somewhere else, I think beneath here or something, I don't know. Not really an expert on these planes, but they can alter the way the air intake works, and like turn the flaps in there and whatnot, and that makes the streaks there, or at least according to that picture that I had. But anyways, they are weathered up, and I think they look real nice now, with a little bit of hint of color there. as the reference photo had. So now I'm gonna assemble them, and no one's ever gonna notice that I did this ever again. Yeah, so the intakes are on. I couldn't quite film it because the wife was watching TV and it was making a lot of noise. But the intakes are on and the canopy is on, and I had to do a little bit of modeling inside there. I had to put the gun sights in there and this little gray hood thing there, and then I put this stuff on the outside. I forget what this is called. The flanker extra thing. So yeah, anyways, it's time to mask out the canopy, I guess. And after that's done, I'm going to start to prep it for paint, even though I don't have all the extra fins and bits and bobs on there. Because I want to paint the engines first before I finish putting on some stuff like the fins that go there and stuff. Because I think it's going to be easier when I have the engine heat shields painted up to mask those off and then paint all the rest of the plane. So yeah, well, that's the plan. And I got my parafilm M here. I'm gonna stretch it out and apply it to the canopy there, cut it up, and also I have forgotten to put in a fresh blade on my knife, so I'm gonna do that first and then I'm gonna go ahead and mask the canopy. So this is probably a way too big of a piece, but it's better to go too big than too small, I guess. So for those that haven't seen this before, parafilm M is like a laboratory cling film. So cut out a piece, stretch it out like so, and then just lay it on top, and it's cling film, so it will cling stuck. And because the IFR side or whatever this is, IFR sounds cool, I guess, I made that up. Because this is an odd shape here, I'm going to use a cotton bud or cotton swab or whatever you want to call it, and push it into all the nooks and crannies there. Also good to go around here, but trying to make sure I don't like drag it or anything, because once this has been stretched like this, it can tear itself. So yeah, this is just one way to mask canopies. There are plenty of other stuff out there as well, but this is what I got. So now, with a brand new blade, I'm going to attempt to cut this. The good thing about this also is that it's transparent, so you can see exactly where you need to cut your canopy masking. And of course then you just cut it and remove the excess, and you should be left with only what you want masked off. Doop-de-doo. Completely silent because I'm concentrating. I cut a little not where I wanted to cut, and it's coming out of the crease because it's tight. Sorry if I put my hair into frame there. This is kind of hard to do whilst trying to keep the camera focused. We're going all the way down there and it's coming off a little bit. But that's okay because we're covered around here. Reapply it a little bit with a toothpick. It's kind of ribbed, but that's okay because we cut it out of the way. And all the way around. Come on. Precision work. Yeah. Just as I said precision, I totally missed the line. But that's okay. The blade is so fresh and sharp. Again, I'm sorry if you can't see any of this. Maybe I should like zoom you out a little bit. This is quite fiddly work. And I'm keeping my finger directly beneath the blade. So if I fall off, I will definitely cut myself. And just like that is all cut. And then very carefully, because if the corners don't always meet up when I cut this, because I'm a clumsy bastard. I try and pull it off like this, away from the masking at first, and then away from all the corners, so I don't lift the parafilm off the glass, in case the corner wasn't cut perfectly, or you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it lifted right there in the front there. So maybe I'll have to reapply it there, or maybe I can just fix this one. Of course, I'm just painting this with acrylic, so I'm not really too concerned about getting paint a little bit on the canopy, because I can just remove it again with a sharpened toothpick. But masking a canopy with parafilm M is just that simple. Perfect mask-ish, perfect-ish. The only thing that I've experienced with this, when it's painted, it can be kind of a hassle to remove it, because it gets kind of stubborn, and if you leave it for a long period of time, it goes really hard, and it gets even harder to remove it. And I do have quite a few in my drawer of Doom with parafilm M masking on them, and I'm not really looking forward to removing that, but when you're trying to just paint it and remove it, it's great, or at least when it actually works for you, which it usually does for me. So anyways, I haven't attached any nose to this thing, and that's probably because I don't have any weights to put in it. I think usually I use these air gun pellets, and the instructions say that you're supposed to add 10 grams, but I only have like 5 pellets left, and each pellet is only half a gram. So I'm gonna need about 20 of these for 10 grams, I guess. It's time to go buy some more, I think. But anyways, I think we're gonna end the video here. Next time is gonna be paint, at least a little bit, and I'm gonna try and do some different stuff that I've done before with the engine heat shields. I'm gonna try and do a little heat effects with what's it called? Pastel, like pastel chalks. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know I didn't really show much of what I did on this, but my workbench is right next to the TV, and I decided to let the wife actually watch something this time. So it is what it is, but thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!